All right, it's Scott here from Ways We Forgot. And today my musing, I could do a reday, but I think I'm going to wait until the Wednesday. Yesterday I talked a bit about traditions, and like sort of ceremonies, but more in entertainment in our culture. Um, Today I woke up and I watched the Nintendo Direct, which is sort of Nintendo's big news event, and recorded that. And it was funny because, there wasn't anything that I was like really that excited about. It was just a lot of RPGs, a lot of stuff that takes up time. Um, I guess that's sort of what I'd like to maybe think about a little bit today. Um, I really enjoy entertainment and pop culture, but there's only so much time in a day to be able to enjoy those things. So to, do that, you got to be really strategic. I don't think it's, inherently wrong to consume media or video games or, that stuff. But to be able to do it mindfully is very important, because it's very easy for these things that are sort of set up to take our attention and to choose where our attention is pointed, to take up a lot of our time. And depending on how that's happening, all of a sudden one day you might be like, oh, I didn't really do much of anything. I'm amazing at Guitar Hero, but, if I would have spent that like 500 hours on Guitar Hero playing real guitar, that would have been a game changer. Though with that being said, there is the gamification of different elements of our life that can sort of help us and, hack our like and our desire to game and to watch media, and can help us learn and train. Example being, rather than playing Guitar Hero, playing something like Rocksmith, where you actually have the ability to see what you're playing on the guitar. There's also a couple different options as apps, or Melodics is the name of one of the sites, but you can plug in a MIDI controller, which is a keyboard that doesn't make sounds, but it's able to see what you're playing, and so you can learn how to play instruments through the computer and through the internet. Another way that stuff is gamified, it would be like Pokemon Go, or there's a Pikmin game. Pikmin is a Nintendo IP about these little cute creatures that have these like they're just these little cute creatures, and they're just all around. And in the original game, this like astronaut lands on their planet, and everything's way bigger than the Pikmin, and they help this astronaut like move big fruit and have to go up against these animals and critters that are very big compared to the Pikmin, would probably be the size of a cat. And they have made a augmented reality game for the iPhone called Pikmin Bloom, where it encourages you to walk more. When I was younger, when I was 21, there was a really fun app called Body Fate. And that really helped get me into exercise. It was a exercise randomizer, and you would sort of have sometimes two choices, and you would just like roll the dice or spin the wheel, and then you would do whatever exercise it told you to do. And that made exercise a bit more fun for me, and they had like little trivia in it and all of that. There's a really good special on this, I think it was on Nova, called 12 Steps, I believe, 12 Steps to the Gamepocalypse. And in that, it sort of talks about all of these ways that games can sort of lead to learning. It talks about some of the, other stuff that can come from the gamification of things, like us getting points for using our cards, or, just some of the more devious and dark ways. But I think that, when used correctly, technology can be really helpful. And some people would even say certain games, and I've heard that there's actually a sort of rating that some people have been trying to start up, where you can find out if a game is sort of good for your mental health. Because some people would feel that certain games helped them maybe get out of certain depression and stuff like that. Example being, I've heard from multiple people, but I also know that it's something that could be a time suck, a time sink. but Animal Crossing helped certain people. I remember playing a game called Persona 5 when I was having a bit of hard time near the end of the first run of COVID, where I wasn't hanging out with people, and I was in just a space and in a relationship where that wasn't really as encouraged. So this game has a big element where you are being friends with people. Another big element in it, though, is that you only have so much time in a day, so you have to pick who you spend your time with. And so that was really like a fun game, and getting to sort of explore that and to see as you gain these friendships, certain benefits come up. And so you get benefits if you befriend somebody or get a certain confidant. And so that was really a fun concept that really helped get me out of this space where I wasn't really being as connected with people. So yeah, just sort of back to the game sort of idea, I really do appreciate games for different reasons. I've moved more away from single player games, though I do really, appreciate the work that goes into them. I just realized that I can spend hours and hours, hundreds of hours on some of these single player games. So my preferred gaming, and what I try to do when I get a lot of the games that I get these days, is get stuff that is multiplayer, that can be co-op, couch co-op preferably, where we can all be sitting on the couch and playing a game together and just having a fun time. The Mario parties. My favorite one that I always share with people is a game called Duck Game. And it's so silly, but we just have so much fun playing it. Another one that's a lot of fun, that's really great because you're able to just sort of share it with others, would be this game Jackbox. And so Jackbox is really great in that you're just really able to play with a whole room of people, or you can play it streaming and over the internet. And so it's amazing, how the technology has changed. Even these games that were originally couch co-op, you can play together, over the internet. And that's been really a cool thing to see how that's shifted. One more thing that just even came out of this Nintendo Direct that was a very exciting thing for me, being an old school gamer back, played the first Nintendo, not as far back as Atari, but one of the really fond memories I had growing up, not only was Mario Party, but was the game 007, GoldenEye, for the Nintendo 64. And they announced that would be coming next year to this service that Nintendo Switch has, but it would have the online, so you can play it online with your friends again. And so that was really cool. I think people have been sort of asking for that. But yeah, so that's sort of the concept today is, games can be great. We can learn from games. I think that it's important to be aware of how much time that, myself and, if you care about that, how much time you're putting in, and just realize that these games are definitely made to grab our attention. So we only have so much mental capacity, and it's really important for us to realize, what we are choosing to do rather than what we are feeling moved to do. Sort of like understanding the difference between having appetite and being actually hungry. Something might stimulate your appetite, like going to the movies. You might feel like, oh, I've got to eat popcorn because I went to the movie. Or you might see a commercial on TV and go, oh yeah, I got to go and get this fast food, excellent looking meal. As opposed to, oh, I'm really hungry, I haven't eaten for a while. And so understanding, when it is something that's pulling us versus something that we are choosing to do. And I think that sometimes entertainment can be something that pulls us rather than something that we choose to do. Not to say that it isn't something that we choose to do, because oftentimes we can, but it's made to sort of creep in more and more and sort of grab you in more and more. So I think it's important to be aware of that and understand that breaks are very good and that we always have choice. I will end with the ultimate choice, which is really cultivating that relationship with yourself and just really making sure that you and I have choice over our actions. And I think that is, again, the key to being really happy and having a good life is making sure we're doing stuff that fills our cups, and we're not just doing whatever the ad company wants us to do, or whatever the broadcasting network wants us to do, or the, whoever. We make our decisions, and practicing that from a place of heart and where we're not feeling like we're lacking is very, very important. So to practice those things, we can do meditations, we can do love and kindness meditations, we can just start to become more aware of what we're doing and start making even lists of, I want to do more of this in my life. And a lot of the times those things we say we can do tomorrow: exercise, learn a new instrument, learn a language, but making time to do those things consistently is key. And so, like, even if you only have, a bit of time, like 15 minutes, 10 minutes, to do that consistently is important. And I know that sometimes we're like, oh, well, I can only do this if I have an hour, or if I had 5 hours, or especially me for music. But knowing that we have the ability to just engage with it for a tiny bit, and there's actually sort of diminishing returns if we engage for too long. So know that you can do that. Much love. I'll see y'all soon.